If you want the ultimate bolt-on brake upgrade kit for your 2020 and newer Silverado or Sierra 2500 or 3500, the PowerStop Z36 Extreme Truck and Tow Kit is exactly what you need. Featuring PowerStop's excellent proprietary brake pad compound with drilled and slotted rotors, this kit is going to give you everything you need to stop on a dime every time, whether you're putting them on a work truck, a daily driver, a hauler, or an off-roader. Now, perhaps the most obvious difference here versus your stock brakes are the drilled and slotted rotors. Especially if you're towing or hauling with your truck, these are going to bring a welcome upgrade to the standard solid rotors. The holes and slots that are machined in here help channel heat and debris away from the face of the rotor and from the pads. Now, keeping brakes from overheating is the key to having them perform properly. The slots direct heat out, the drilled holes give that heat another means to escape, and they lead right to the central vanes. So despite these being the exact same size as your factory rotors, they're going to perform much better. And that is, of course, helped by the pads. Now, the Z36 pads are designed for severe conditions such as hauling or towing, where you're going to be using your brakes a lot. And as such, they are a noticeable step up in performance from your originals, but they don't compromise. PowerStop utilizes a proprietary carbon fiber ceramic compound with these, so that gives them good initial bite, excellent stopping power, and much better heat resistance versus stock. The pads are also thermal scorched during manufacturing to help with faster break-in, and you can see there's a central slot, chamfered edges, and rubberized stainless steel shims on the back to help keep noise at bay. So these bite hard and fast, and they're going to stand up to multiple full-bore stops in a row without fail, even if you've got a big heavy trailer behind your truck. Now, PowerStop also claims that these produce virtually no dust. Now, no brake pad is entirely dust-free, but this formula produces very little dust, which is going to help keep your wheels clean, and they make basically no noise. So like I said, there's virtually no compromise here. Now, I want to point out this kit is only for the front end of the truck. PowerStop does make a matching kit for the rear, and I do highly recommend getting both if you want the ultimate stopping power. This is again going to be a great bolt-on kit for a daily driven truck or one that's going to see quite a bit more use. Now, the rotors are made from cast iron, which is the same as your stock brakes. However, there are a couple of key differences. First is that these are made using something called G3000 metallurgy, so that means that this has a higher percentage of carbon in the metal itself. And like the drilled holes and the slots that are in this composition is extremely helpful in dissipating heat. The rotors also have a silver zinc plating over top, which is going to help prevent rust and corrosion, so they'll look good and perform well for a long time. Those pads again utilize PowerStop's proprietary carbon fiber ceramic compound, again designed for excellent heat dissipation, consistent performance and feel with low dust and noise. PowerStop also includes all new premium stainless steel hardware in the kit, brake lubricant, and brake pad wear sensors. So this is going to basically include everything you need for a front end brake overhaul, and it's really high quality stuff too. Pricing comes in at about $600, and while that's not what you might call cheap, it is one of the more affordable front brake kits with drilled and slotted rotors available for these trucks. These are big brakes and they are good brakes. Neither of those things come cheap, and this is not a place you want to skimp if your truck sees a lot of usage. Now, there's a few places on my own vehicles on which I believe it's worth spending the big bucks, and brakes are one of them. I will say I'm running a set of Z36s on my own truck and have been for the last couple of years. I can tell you from firsthand experience, both in daily driving and towing situations, these are definitely worth it if you've got the room in your budget. They're about as good as you're going to get short of going to a big involved big brake kit. Installation comes in at a 2 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and installing this kit is definitely a job you can accomplish at home. It's probably going to take you around 3 hours or so to complete. Now, even if you haven't done brakes before, this is a pretty straightforward job, just requires some disassembly. So as long as you're willing to spend the time, you can definitely tackle this. And we're going to show you how to do it right now. So with that, let's head on out to the shop and we'll walk you through the process step by step.
For this install, you will need an impact, a T30 Torx bit, a 21mm socket, a caliper hanger tool, a caliper compressor tool, a ratchet, a 16mm ratcheting wrench, and a breaker bar. Also not shown here is a jack and jack stands. Alright, so we've got our truck in the air, we've got the wheels off, and the first thing we need to do is remove our caliper itself. It's held on by two 16mm bolts, so we've got our 16mm ratchet wrench. We'll get those popped off first and hang our caliper up with a caliper hanger tool. Next, we can remove our pads from our bracket. So to do that, we're just going to pull back, pop those out. Next, we need to remove our caliper bracket that's held in by 4 21mm bolts. We've got 2 up top and then 2 down bottom. So we're going to use our 21mm socket on our ratchet to pop those off. Now, sometimes these are pretty tight and stubborn to come out, so we're going to switch out to our 21mm socket on our impact. Try to get these out. So these are being very stubborn, and usually from the factory, if you've never taken these out, they do have a good bit of Loctite on them. So we're going to grab our breaker bar and try to get these loose. And we'll do the same thing for the top two. All right, so now that we've got them all broken loose with our breaker bar, we'll come back in with our impact and run these out. And we'll do the same thing for the top two. Next, we can remove our bracket after we've got all our bolts out. I'm just going to slide off. We're also going to remove our old pad clips. Those are just going to pull out like that, so you can pull all 4 of them off. Now, in order to get our rotor off, we're going to need to remove the factory retainer screw. Now, these do not have to go back on. They are simply on there for manufacturing purposes coming down the line to hold the rotor in place. So if you do damage it, which does occur coming out, don't worry, you don't have to put it back in. It's not critical. We're going to take our T30 Torx bit on our impact and get that off. Now once that's off, we can remove our rotor. Now once you've got this side off, you can repeat the same process for the other side. All right, so now that we have our front brakes off, we can start installing our new setup. We're gonna start with our new rotor. These are labeled for each side. So we're gonna line this up. Get it onto our studs. Now since our retainer screw is in good condition, we are gonna reinstall that. Once again, our T30 Torx bit. Next, we're going to reinstall our factory caliper bracket, and we're going to put the pad clips on after we install it. Just makes it a little bit easier. So we're going to reuse our factory 21mm bolts and put all 4 of them back in. We get our bracket in place. Begin reinstalling our hardware. We'll come back with our 21mm socket, tighten all these down. Now we can install our new clips. Now you do have retainer springs on these. You want to make sure they face the outside of your bracket, and they're just going to pop right into place just as our old ones came out. Once you got your first one seated, you can do the same thing for the other 3. Now we can install our new pad, so we're going to line our ears up with our clips we just installed and pop those into place flush with our rotor. Slide this in. Now, these new clips are going to be a little stiff. They should pop right in. Your inner pad is going to be the one with the recess for a wear sensor if you have it. Now before we can reinstall our caliper itself, we need to compress the caliper pistons to make room for the new rotors and pads. So we've got a compressor tool, we're going to get that in, compress those back, and then we can install our caliper. Now when compressing your pistons, if you need a little bit more evenly distributed force, you can use your old pad with the backing towards the piston to give yourself a little more equal leverage. Now we'll get our caliper back in place. Line up your sliders and reinstall your 16mm bolts. So we'll get one in just to hold our caliper in place, then we can come back and get our other one in. Now we'll bring back our 16mm ratchet wrench and tighten these back down. Now once you've got this side complete, you can do the same thing for the other side. Always remember to torque your hardware down to the manufacturer recommended torque specs. Alrighty folks, that about wraps up our review and install of our PowerStop Z36 Extreme Truck and Tow 8-lug brake rotor and pad kit for the front of your 20 to current Silverado 2500 and 3500 HD. Thanks for watching, and as always, for everything Silverado, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.